damn buttons back here this morning. Give me 1 second. All right. You should be able to hear. Greetings. Good morning, everyone. You can't hear anything still? I forgot
I
to hit
can
the go
hear you,
live.
but you're
Static
kind of
still.
like breaking up.
I have no clue. I actually forgot to hit the go live button. We actually was not live on
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are now live on Here to Chew Bubblegum's YouTube page. For all you people that were excited for me to show up, here I come and I've destroyed everything.
Now see, it sounds that's coming through my cell phone back here.
That's what I'm saying. I've had that problem before, and I don't know what the issue is because she is listening to us through the StreamYard feed.
Yeah.
So I've had that
You're
problem.
listening to us through the StreamYard feed.
Yeah, because she's live on the feed, so she's listening to that. See, I've had that problem with Zoom before. Sometimes, like I've had it as the host of the Zoom meeting, and I've had it as a guest on there. Like I've had trouble audio wise, and everybody else could hear fine. You know, and guys like Bobby Akers will make fun of you for stuff like that.
Well, that's just because we all know about Bobby Akers. I was wondering why, and I'm like, man, I forgot to hit the live button. And I thought I did good.
We did an introduction and everything. So
I'm just here to mess things up.
Well, I have already done that. I have already done that. I've already done that. So
I can hear people right now. He cursed the show. They should have never let Justin on that.
No, man. But we are on YouTube this morning. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitch, and we're on Twitter as well, and AMP. So, hopefully,
at least one of those spots we're probably fully functioning.
What was that?
I said on at least one of those spots we're probably fully functioning.
I mean, back here everything sounds good. I think that I had a problem too, as what you're talking about and so forth. So it's who knows? Who knows? Do you normally, when you do the producer stuff, Lucy, do you log into StreamYard or do you log into YouTube?
YouTube.
Okay. So
I did it this way because you sent the link.
Well, hey, I love having you here. I mean, it threw me off guard. I mean, I'm back here pushing buttons. I might as well just go ahead and blame you. Then I look up and then there's a beautiful woman on the screen as I'm getting ready to hit the go live button. Then I forget. So, I'm just going to go ahead and just blame you.
It took me off guard because I didn't know it was going to put me on.
So, now normally I have no problem missing buttons and recording everything because Justin's ugly. He is not good looking eye candy. He's good. He's a good ear candy, but his eye candy game is off a little bit. Justin, do you have a comment on that?
All right.
Justin.
He looks frozen.
He does. Or he may just be doing that. Well.
He could be playing a prank on us.
He could be. Hey, Justin.
Because if he is, he's pretty good. He's not even breathing.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing a prank. Let's see here. I was going to say I'm going to private message him. Hey, lost you, but in the private chat thing, but that won't work. Let me message him on. Oh yes, he dropped off. So maybe I hurt his feelings.
Maybe this is the Goose and Lucy show.
There you go. G and L. So,
Yep.
Yeah, man, this is a lot of shit. All these buttons back here. I cannot wait until we get together with you and your. Can I go ahead and say who your special half is, or who you raise? Maybe better.
It's hard to understand exactly what you said.
Okay. Can I tell the audience who you raise?
Yeah.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Lucy, who is the show producer. She's also Mrs. Bolin Cox. So now Justin's back in. Let him back in here. So I had to stream. Man, I thought I hurt your feelings.
No, I mean, of all the complaining I do about my internet, and it's been phenomenal all morning. And the one day I couldn't make it to the bunker, it decides to throw a fit.
Yeah, well, it happens sometimes. It happens. So let's see. We are stuff is haywire back here on my end. But hey, That's how it goes sometimes. We had some people on the amp and they dropped off for some reason. So who knows? I mean, when you come in and your internet messes up, your first show is delayed a few minutes. Your third show, which was probably one of my favorite ones so far, was delayed because of the hosting stuff on the website, which I'm still trying to get. But it seems like the government or some other organization could be trying to stop us.
Or I'm just really bad luck. No.
You are not bad luck at all. You are not bad luck at all. We're going to drop the link here in a few moments. But let's see what I've got wrote down. Today's episode, we're going to have two parts. This will be part one, and then next Sunday, you'll see a recorded live stream of, part two. And then the following Sunday, Lucy dropped off.
You notice the comment there.
What was that?
They've been fixing the internet in East Kentucky for 25 years.
Oh,
yeah,
hell yeah. They definitely have. I wish they would get it together. But then the following Sunday, we'll also have a pre-recorded live stream as well. You can't live comment, but you can comment on the video and so forth. And that's because the show just started and somebody already has to take off, and that's me. So you thought I was going to say you. See, I had it worded that way on purpose.
Well, I mean, everybody probably, especially you, deserves a break because these first four shows have probably been rough on you.
No, I mean, dude, but do you know how many comments I got on last week's show?
I got a lot. I mean, a lot, and a lot of them were, very complimentary. I didn't get any negative, which is different from Talk Junkie. Most of those were negative.
Your text message just come through. That's my internet. I should pop back up. I just got that. Well,
I didn't think about it, but I got AT&T, so my phone works off of Wi-Fi. So until the Wi-Fi popped back up, the message will go through.
Good morning, Luke. Welcome to the show. Welcome, Easy. Glad you're here, Lucy. As always, you pop on anytime you want to. Like I said, who knows? I just need to remember to hit the. Yeah. You're having fun with your board back there, aren't you?
No, I swear to God, I didn't touch nothing.
Oh, what the hell was that?
I have no clue.
Are you serious?
If something's open on your phone, maybe if that's something that AMP does.
I have AMP open. The volume's turned down.
I have completely destroyed this show.
No, you have not, dude. I mean, there's so much. We're going to have to do a video and put on TikTok or YouTube about all the shit that we've got going back here. But when we do come back from break in a few weeks, which you'll still get new content, we're going to have, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have some new mics. We're going to have a new computer. Just keep that between us and everybody else listening. And you know what I mean by that. But we are going to have some new gear. So hopefully things will get better and so forth.
But I'll still be here, so I don't.
Yeah, no, dude, you help, man. You make it great. So I mean, you really do.
It works. Like, think of all the flawless shows you've had, and think of the last.
Dude, I have never had a flawless show. Something has always happened.
Well, I didn't think ahead, but do you see my new artwork for the studio? I guess you know where I got that from. But
tell us where you got that from.
Closer. I got it from you.
Oh, yes.
You made me kiss you on your mouth and sit on your lap.
Well, you're not supposed to tell anybody that. So.
Oh. Well, I'm not supposed to keep a secret. You said, sit on Pappy's lap and give him sugar. And I did. And then you give me that poster. You got it. I didn't even see the damn drum set. I got a drum set.
Oh, there you go. What is that? One of those desktop ones? Yeah. Thank you very much, Ez. I definitely appreciate that, my friend.
He kissed you on the mouth and sat on your lap too, didn't he? I knew it.
I actually owe this man a steak dinner, and I will pay up. I can't go into a lot of details, but he saved me a lot of work week before last. And I was already to the limit on putting shit together. I mean, because when you go to a specific place to put furniture together and it's as hot as the gates of hell and you're sweating and, you know, you put stuff together and then you have to move it out of a room. Then you have to take it apart to get it out of the room when you were assured by somebody in charge that this will fit through the door. I know what I'm talking about. Bullshit. No, it won't. It will not fit through the door. So there was one desk at this particular place I had to put together and take apart. I put it together 3 times and took it apart 3 times.
I've told you numerous times that back door's for exit only. Sometimes you just can't fit. You're too big.
Yeah. That's what she said.
They probably can't hear that, but
no, I'm sure they can. That just looks funny with you playing. You know, you kind of look like a Muppet.
I have been told worse.
Who was the Muppet that played the drums?
It wasn't Animal. It was Animal, wasn't it?
Yeah, Animal. So that's exactly who you look like this morning is Animal. Hopefully, people can still hear us on AMP. The things are going around. Let's see. Hello, can everyone hear us on AMP? What was that?
I said, for their sake, I'd say hopefully they can. Yeah. I can't check the views on it. I can watch it.
Well, the views, we were at 10 and it dropped off for some reason, like it was the internet. I forgot to charge that phone as well. Oh, no.
Oh, we have a comment on there. Moves, if you're still on AMP. Thank you for your comment. Again, if you want to be in a big live chat, we're on YouTube. But if you're driving in your car, you can check us out here. And we will do some music from time to time on AMP, where we really don't do anything like that on YouTube. You put the music in after our mix, a little behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
And everything you put in music wise is a cover, and you find the best covers of songs.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Lucy, thank you very much for letting us know AMP is up and going and you heard it okay. And
thank you, Lucy.
I'm sorry you lost your internet. You know, we love having you on. You come back on anytime you want to. And thank you for all that you do behind the scenes. I want to plug really quick before we jump on to the email stuff.
It's exit only. Oh, for the show. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. You know, it actually took me just a moment to realize what you were talking about there. Because I'm constantly looking at the screen to make sure we're audio recording on this side, make sure we're live on this side, checking out the comments, making sure the private chat, you know, all that stuff is going. So it is. Be sure to check out Scientific Fugacity. This week's episode or last week's episode, I was on and totally derailed his show. Came into a screeching halt. But we talked about the subject was time travel, and I am all over the place because I'm talking about UFOs and portals. But you know, I explained that I think it's all connected together. So,
did you hear? And this might be something cool to get Luke on here and talk about. Did you hear? What's the dude from Blink 182?
The Travis guy.
No, not the singer. Not Mark. Mark's the bass player.
The one that
one that run that UFO thing.
Yeah. That's isn't his name Travis?
No,
he's
Travis
drummer,
Barker's a drummer. No, he's the one with all the tattoos that was banging a Kardashian. This guy's probably banging himself, but he's a lot cooler guy. What was his name? Okay. There's Mark Hoppus, Travis Barker, and then the only guy I can't think of. But anyway, that guy, he released a thing. Maybe it was on Steve-O podcast or something like that. Mm-hmm. But he was talking about, you know, all these people that was doing research with him. And oddly enough, like a lot of the stuff he talked about ended up being stuff that we ended up, because I kind of took that as a joke when he started that whole program. Tom DeLonge, thank you, Ez. But he started
Academy to the Stars is the name of it, I think.
Yes. And he's saying that everything that he's getting from his information from that end is that it is interdimensional, kind of like a time travel thing, that all time is not circular, that time is parallel, that every moment of time, you know, like, but it put the UFO stuff kind of into the time travel realm. and that's something I'd never heard him really talk about. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, that is really neat. That's basically what I said on Scientific Fugacity. You can hear it now on Spotify.
Excellent show.
Yes, it is. That's you do know if it was not for Tom DeLonge, the footage of the Tic Tac and all that other stuff would not have come out a few years ago. So okay, I didn't know if you knew that or not. I was trying to.
I didn't. I was just saying. Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, okay. If anyone wants to give us a call and join us by audio, let me get back over here to this thing really quick. You can do that. Let's see. Or you can shoot us an email right there. If you want to call right now and be on the show, you can do that just by calling that phone number. Or if you want to pop in the studio with us, you are more than welcome to do that. And I am getting the link. So we'll go back up here to the comments and drop the link in case anyone does want to pop in with us. Let's see. Let me see that comment there. Just show that on the screen. The Skinwalker Ranch shit is legit. The first episode, the first season of that show I watched religiously. The second season, I watched maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and for some reason I cannot remember. I just quit watching it for some reason.
I've seen a couple episodes here and there, but
I think it's legit.
I'm that eternal skeptic. I used to not be, but I am now. And I think that's why we work out so good together, but I got to go the Luke Fugit route and say, a lot of the stuff I do lend credence to that I used to not lead credence to is generally because of stuff I either found out from your podcast or talking to you, in person, or, when Bobby Akers will let us talk to Elliot, learning stuff from Elliot and Gertie and Bagel.
Right. Well, now here's another good comment. I'm just going to go ahead and call him Easy. So
Easy.
You can call him Ez. I'm going to call him Easy. So,
Easy.
Potato. Ez sounds more gangster. Well, hell, they both sound gangster. Hell, I'm just going to call him my friend. Let's see. His comment says, might not be an alien base, but definitely some weird electromagnetic activity in that location. There's a curve. Let's see. And he's talking about the place where we're from has electromagnetic interference. Did you pick up Mexican radio? I did not know that about that place. Somewhere
around the Skinwalker Ranch, there is a really redneck guy that spends way too much time on the internet going, I see they even coming up here and taking our radio stations.
I don't remember that episode. But I just dropped the link. If you do want to join us live, you are more than welcome to join us live there. We would love to have you on. In that comment of Ez's I just showed, if you've got that there in that particular location, that could possibly be a portal. Or, one close to there. Are you froze again, or are you doing that? I think I have lost Justin again. Oh, man. It is. I thought he was just messing around with me, but evidently, yeah. Yep, he lost him again. So while he joins back, I'm going to go ahead and start out with an email. And I'm actually going to read Justin's email. When he joins us back, I'll let him read mine because his is shorter. And let's see here. We have another comment. It says, it's from Ez. Just below the hospital. I can't remember if it's a CB or regular radio, but it definitely picks up something you regularly shouldn't get. That is, now there's a Mexican, restaurant? How many miles away is the Mexican restaurant? And Justin's back, so let's pop him back in. And I thought you was messing around with me again. But
no.
He made another good comment. So he didn't remember if it was a CB radio or a regular radio, but there is, like I said, a Mexican restaurant, maybe less than 20 miles up the road. I wonder if they could have a cordless phone, and that could be what it's picked up.
I don't know.
Possibly. I mean, I'm going to have to check that out. So
Well, I can tell you what's not picking it up is the internet.
is your internet?
Yeah. It's not. In 2005, every Saturday night, we broadcasted a web show, me and my friend Tyler, worldwide with no interruption in 2005. It's 2023.
What?
Long enough
you know why, right? And let's see. It says that. So that was before the Mexican restaurant went in. I'm definitely going to check that out. You've got me intrigued there. And you know what you said about Tom DeLonge, Justin, got me intrigued. But you know why you had no problems in 2005, right? Did you have the fiber internet back then?
No, and that's what I've got now that I pay more for you.
And Ed says that he heard that as a kid. Wow.
So I missed some of that. So he heard a transmission over like a radio picked up a Mexican.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you this on CBs, because I have to use a lot of them on like if we're going up on a strip job or something, so I don't get run over by 777 if I'm going to walk a line or do like something environmental wise. I will get tons of Mexican Spanish chatter. But it doesn't sound like music, like it doesn't sound like a radio. But when I was younger, I would put my TV cable. You know how you can take your TV cable, you've got the copper wire radio. Yeah, put it in the antenna, and listen to the radio station down in Tennessee all the time. But I would also switch over to AM on that and get tons of Mexican radio things. So I don't know.
See, Sean says my internet ain't worth a pig sticker lately. There's been a lot of problems too, especially with the local provider. They've went to 5G, which they don't have, and they've switched all their customers over. So now their phones say SOS on them, and that's got a lot of people irritated. But it would me as well. But getting back really quick to 05, I actually lived in the little town we're from, and there was you had the local internet people had got grant money to put in like fiber or cable. Cable is what it was.
So it came
top notch at the time. It was great. Now, when the time limit was over, that you had to keep the grant for so long, to keep the service for so long, then they turned it off. But the cable was the best. I mean, that was the absolute best.
Well, I run a hard line to my laptop right now, but we ran a hard line out to a little building that my band rehearsed in, and me, it was definitely hard. Me and the drummer from that band, Tyler, we did a show called Pirate Radio, and we run it through Ustream, I think it was, and then put it up on what was the one before Facebook?
MySpace.
You could embed it into MySpace, and we done a live show every Saturday night flawlessly. We never had any issue. You
could do a lot on MySpace. I used to. And I mean, hell, I've not logged into MySpace in forever, so I'll just go ahead and tell this. I would, especially in our area, I had a fake account as well, and I would get on and see where people were like messaging back and forth, and they were upset over something, and I would go copy their picture, like save it, and immediately make another MySpace because it didn't take 2 minutes to make an account, and I would go back and comment like it was the person that they were kind of, they really wasn't going back and forth. They were disagreeing. And I would say the awfulest stuff ever. And they would think it was the other person. So, I just started chaos that way.
Well, when Facebook first started.
Free fun entertainment.
Oh, yeah. When Facebook first started, my account was Kurt Rambis, the guy that played for the Lakers. And so when I took and went on Facebook, the only people that knew it was me was like really close friends. And you're talking, I don't know, probably first couple years of Facebook, because I did push that podcast show or like web TV show, whatever it was, at Pirate Radio. I did push it onto there when it first happened. But I ended up switching that Kurt Rambis. And at that time, you could switch your profile name as well as your picture. And I would do similar stuff sometimes. I would send messages to people, because you could go in. If you look at it now, it's really hard to go in there and change your name like once it's been set. And I think that's why I think a lot of people like you, got caught finally.
I mean, I just enjoyed it.
Justin was my top 16. I had to expand top 8 so he wouldn't get at me. I don't think that's in anybody's top 16.
I can remember some of mine. The band Stone 11, they were in my top. I mean, they had a tremendous amount of music on their little independent album that they put out. They had a showcase in Nashville, and I still talk to some of those guys every now and then. And you've probably, I mean, their stuff is good, and you've heard some of it on the show and may not realize it, but I mean, it is killer. I mean, it was good.
I deleted the pirate radio stuff. It was pretty rough. It was it was a I didn't want that around. And now I wish I hadn't. Like now I wish I had.
Now, has there ever been anything else that's been deleted that you wish was not deleted?
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna put you on the spot there.
I don't know.
Okay. We'll just leave it at that. We're gonna go ahead and move on to some listener email. I'll go back up here to the first one because I just remembered I had Justin going to read it anyway. Sean, who just commented, our good buddy Sean, we pull his comment up there. He wrote in this week. He actually wrote an email, and we have a sappy, unhappy moment from Sean as well. Let's see. He sent us an AI song that he created, and Billy Joe Farnsworth, listen up to this because it's all about you. So, Justin, go ahead and break this down and sing this for us.
Well, I don't sing, but I will read it to you. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is a pretty good song. I have my questions if AI did this. Like, I think somebody at the AI place was like, oh, man, I got this preloaded. They probably know Billy Joe Farnsworth and had something bad to say about him. But verse 1, he preaches Sunday mornings with the Bible in his hand. But come Saturday night, he's a different kind of man. He drinks and he parties with the sinners of the town, and come Sunday morning, he's back to wearing his crown, which is an awesome verse, honestly.
Yes, it is.
The chorus goes, hypocrite preacher preaching lies from the pulpit, hypocrite preacher living a double life. Ain't that some shit? Hypocrite preacher leading his flock astray, hypocrite preacher gonna have hell to pay. And with that singer, that would be a good chorus.
Yes, it would be.
Second verse, he talks about forgiveness and the love of the Lord, but he's quick to judge and condemn with his self-righteous sword. He preaches about morals and the sanctity of marriage, but he's been caught with his pants down in a seedy hotel carriage. That is also truthful and a good verse. And then the chorus is the same as the first time. And then there's a bridge here. He thinks he's above reproach with his fancy suits and car. I think he never got out of the 70s. I don't know about fancy, but one day he'll face the truth and it won't be from afar. He'll have to answer for his sins and the lives he's led astray, and all his money and power won't save him on Judgment Day. And then the chorus again, and then there's an outro here. So listen up, all you hypocrites who hide behind your faith. You can't fool the Lord above with all your lies and fake. So come clean and repent your sins before it's too late. And maybe, just maybe, you can avoid your fate.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, that's a really good song. And the sad thing with Billy Joe, I could see him kind of co-opting that for himself.
Oh, I could too. And you cannot steal that, Billy Joe. That belongs to our friend of the show, Sean. And Justin, if you could do me a favor, can you read that last verse one more time, the outro?
Let's see. So listen up, all you hypocrites who hide behind your faith. You can't fool the Lord above with all your lies.
Wait.
No.
So listen up, all you hypocrites who hide behind your faith.
I guess it's where you're on a different, you're not on my board.
Oh, man, I can't do God voice.
I will have to do it. So listen up, all you hypocrites who hide behind your faith. You can't fool the Lord above with all your lies and fake. So come clean and repent your sins before it's too late. And maybe, just maybe, you can avoid your fate.
Oh, well,
we should start a band.
What's that? Start a band?
Yeah.
Yeah,
all of them horrible. but we can play.
They, well, yeah. Do you have a name for the band?
Billy Joe Farnsworth.
Nope.
In the Sunday ministry.
Nope. Snowman Poop.
Oh, that is a great name.
Thank you.
Told me that
Thank
the other day.
Thank you.
Is that
Yes,
Ice
I
Cube?
did.
And somebody's JoJo. I said, is that Ice Cube?
Oh, let's see. Did I put what Ed said about the sounds like the Hill Jack Devil?
Billy Joe's an interesting
How
individual.
dare you call me that? You know, sometimes when you talk like that, for some reason, I try to deepen my voice as I do it, and then sometimes it makes me want to cough. You know, so
Yeah, that's it.
you mean to bend over and cough for you?
You don't have to bend over.
Okay.
Clench. I prefer you clench.
See, but you know, you can do the I can do the what is it, the voice from Saul, or like one, I don't think it's hell, I don't know where it come from, but there's one voice I can do and it like kills me. It's funny as hell, it's scary, but it kills my throat. It's like let's see, we're here with Justin, and I can't even do it now, man. I've jinxed myself.
You've got too much build up.
Yeah.
Voices.
You want to go ahead and take our next email from one of our
From Dixon.
OGs, and we've not heard from him in a while, so
he's holding back and wondering how he feels about this new edition of the guy that's cursed the show.
I think
From Dixon 09, laughter over last week's episode. Dear Here to Chew Bubblegum 2.0, I just wanted to write and express my gratitude for the hilarity of last week's episode. The call to the funeral home had me in stitches. I was laughing so hard. Goose's original lyrics also had me laughing out loud. I can't wait to tune in to the next episode. Thank you for putting together such an enjoyable show. It is now my favorite episode of all time. Roswell, Dixon 09. Well, thank you very much, Dixon 09. Yeah, I like that my co-host has the ability to put himself in the place of other people. And, you know, I had an interesting conversation about that with someone last week, you know, how you came to be writing songs from the point of view of a sexy young black female.
Independent. You forgot that word, because that's very important, because, you know, the song makes sure you may listen to it and you may think, gosh, that woman is, you know, a hoe, but no, it's independent. It's her choice. It's her body if she wants to do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, but you have to have that ability to be creative. And hit varies, you know. I mean, there's some things that sometimes, you know, I kind of pretend to be something else. And once I pretended to be Mr. Rogers, and I wrote a song. I don't have that with me. I have to find those lyrics. So, but it was like,
well, that's not like I do that with poetry, like the whole Kingdom book. I've never worked a day in coal mines. It was just something prevalent in my area. And,
you pictured yourself as a king over a coal mine, right?
No.
Well, then how'd you come up with a name?
I don't really remember, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. Well, you should have called it Alzheimer's Coal. Are you coughing or laughing?
I got a cough button this way.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. We're going to do my friend here is going to do the, let me flip my page over. The Sappy Unhappy. We have two of them. We have one from Sean and one from Poison Apple. And it's been a while since we've heard from her. And she has a really good one. Did you get a chance to read over those?
The one, hers, I cried myself.
Did you really?
I did. Me and my mom and my brother were at the movie theater, and I cried. I looked at my mom. I was like, "What the hell did you do this to us for?" Like, she had no idea. You know,
you actually went and saw the movie when it was in the theater, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it. Do you remember? And for people that may not know, when VHS was popular, owners of video stores would get what's called screener tapes, and they would have a bunch of previews and the entire movie that you would rent, but it would say, you know, property of Warner Brothers or, you know, whatever studio. As you were watching it, would come through, and I watched a screener of that, and it had been out a few years, and that's the first time that I had ever heard it. Man, Justin, you have some nice pants on, brother. Those are sharp. I like those.
Oh, you like my pajamas? You look, I have pants on.
I like that.
This is a screener copy.
Okay.
This is what is the only version of American Ninja 5 I could find. I still collect VHS because I'm a loser. But
no, you're not a loser.
Yeah, that was, and I remember, you weren't supposed to get your hands on the screeners, but
right.
What?
Yeah,
would cheat.
happens.
Movies and Munches would cheat sometimes.
Oh, so that's where you got yours at too?
No, I had to buy this. I had to buy this offline. Yeah, Movies and Munches closed. Yeah, Emmett hooked me up screeners all the time. Well, not me.
You used his name, Snazzy.
Yeah,
so, very snazzy. So Poison Apples. When we get to hers is really good. So you really saw this movie in the theater then, and cried.
Probably because of who was in it, the male star, like he was big at the time. And my mom, like that's the only movie.
No, he was not big at the time.
No, he was small, but still.
I mean, he was
still small. He's small as an adult. But like that's the only movie I've ever seen in the theater with my mom. Really? She had to be with us when we watched Ghostbusters 2, but I'm not 100% sure.
The only movie I ever saw in the theater with my mom is Ernest Goes to Camp.
What about the Deep Throat one y'all went and see?
You're a lot older. I was actually like 3. So I was actually 3 years old, so I don't remember much.
Person. Mother Goose is a progressive person. So.
She definitely is.
I love Mama.
She definitely is. So. But let's see. Justin, you want to go ahead and take Sean's sappy, unhappy?
I want to make Sean cry.
Movie TV moment.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is from Sean. I'm racking my brain about the saddest TV or movie moment. I have a few, but can't decide. I started to say Star Wars, The Last Jedi, when the opening credits end to the end credits. 2 hours of my favorite series being ruined is pretty sad. Justin is doing great too. I laughed so hard I cried when he called the funeral home. I got too far ahead.
What do you mean you got too far ahead?
Yeah, I should have slowed down, let you feed that music in there.
Oh no. You did great. Do you actually kind of realize what I did to you there?
No.
Okay.
As you I can't see you. I have to go back.
You and talks about how great you're doing. So not only did we get to shit on Sean, I shit on you as well.
Well, it's well deserved.
Thank you. Sean, all done with love, brother. All done with love.
Sean, if you watched the prequels and that didn't ruin it for you, if you held out all the way to The Last Jedi and that's what it took to ruin it for you, I feel for you.
The only one I have not saw is the one with the little kid Anakin in it when he builds one of the robots.
They're horrible.
I've not saw that.
Awesome. You did the Jar Jar Binks ones. They're awful.
No, I haven't heard of him. I've heard a lot of conspiracies about him.
I'm not allowed that he's a big Sith master.
Yes.
I'm not like I talk like I'm this huge Star Wars fan. I'm not like I don't watch I got really big into the original 3 in like the early 2000s, and it like to drove my wife insane because
No, you would not watch them on repeat all the time, would you?
Well, I did, and then plus it was like it was right around Christmas, and we had to go to family for different Christmas functions, and she'd be like, "Are you ready to go?" And I'd be like, "If you want me to go, and it was back had like a Motorola Razr with the ringtone Emperor's thing on the ringtone. I'd be like, when I play this song, you can say, "Lord Vader, your transport awaits," and I will leave, but if not, I won't. And so it got, I'd say, it got
So you would watch. Now, my kids used to drive me crazy because Mercedes liked. I'm trying to think of what she watched over and over. I know she watched Clifford the Big Red Dog a lot. Oh, what was that?
Said Mercedes drove you crazy?
Yes. But
I'm watched
Clifford the Big Red Dog a lot, and then she watched the Aristocrats.
Yeah.
The old Disney movie, which
yes,
I don't like musicals. Now, I do like The Lion King. I mean, I've watched The Lion King 1,000 times, the cartoon. And that one didn't bother me so much. But then Darian, I think I've said this on the show before, and somebody gave us a VHS of Ronald McDonald, and it was like a little 30-minute movie where they went into space. There was like 4 VHS tapes back in the day. Oh man, I hated that thing because it was like, I hated Barney too, but I'd rather watch Barney than this Ronald McDonald thing. I mean, because it was like, what does this button do? You know
exactly what that button does.
Well, I came up with a little rhyme, and my kids didn't like it too good. So, Rush Hour on repeat. No, there are movies that I have watched on repeat. Now, one that I watched as a kid on repeat is it had Henry Thomas in it from E.T. And I can't think of the name of that right now. It had Daphne Coleman. That was in 9 to 5. What was the name of that?
Working 9 to 5.
See, that's aggravating, man. I have it on DVD, and I paid a shit ton for it back in the day to get it on DVD.
Behind the green door?
No, I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look that up. It was Shrek is another good one.
Actually, I hate Disney movies, and I know Shrek's not a Disney movie because my son is very adamant about what studio makes what movies. I really like Shrek. Like, I'm not an animation person. We just went and watched the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Right. I'm not a Spider-Man fan, and I didn't like any of the live actions from any of the Spider-Mans. It's just not my thing. But that cartoon was really good. Like the ending of it's a to be continued ending, and me and my wife just looked at each other like,
really? So you went to the movies and spent your money and got a to be continued movie. And he froze again. Oh, when he comes back on, I am going to pretend to freeze. So we will get a reaction from him when he does that. I'm looking the Henry Thomas movie up because this was a good one. It was a few years after E.T. But I mean, it was a great movie. I've watched it on repeat a lot. Let me go ahead and remove Justin there. His picture was scaring me. That was a little bit scary. What you can blame the internet when he comes back in. Let's see. Well, we had him backstage and then lost him. So it is one of those mornings. So but hey man, you have to take it as you do it. Well, you know what I mean. Cloak and Dagger was the name of the movie. Cloak and Dagger. Oh yeah, the lights behind me. I don't know if I can pause those or not. I'll have to look and see. I got people messaging me. Okay, Justin's coming up here. Let's see.
I apologize to everyone listening to this live. This is the first and last time I try this from the home studio until they get the internet straightened out in my county. You're faking. The lights are blinking behind you.
We just had a discussion about that. I realized I forgot to turn the overhead lights off. They're blinking. I hope that don't look bad.
No, looks like you're being, abducted.
Well, see, hey, that is okay.
I'm so mad. I'm sweating at this point because it's not really that hot in here. Not in here.
Hey, will you entertain the audience? Man, let me turn this overhead light off. I just realized that it was blinking.
I can talk to him. I don't know if I can entertain him.
Well,
but I can talk to him.
Yes, please talk to him.
Me to drum?
No, I don't want you to drum.
I want you to. Hold on, I'm playing a song.
Okay. Set up this. There he goes with his. Okay. Oh, live entertainment. Oh, let's see.
No, it would sound horrible.
No, man. Why did you put it back down?
Because it wouldn't pick up. I've only got one thumb. All right, you go turn off the light, and I'll interview these people. I'll entertain these people. You go.
Okay. All right. Give me like
take your headphones
5
off.
seconds. Look at my pajama pants. I don't really have pajama pants. I have shorts.
Lucky he's got pants on at all. Welcome to Talk Junkie. I'm hijacking this show. I can do whatever I want to do now. We don't need Goose. I just needed somebody to listen. Now I've got you people, and And he's coming back.
What was that?
Nothing. I was just excited to talk to these people, and we all had fun.
Hey, man, we do have fun. Oh,
yeah, until I butcher this show, because I was so excited about this show and this episode today, and now my Wi-Fi is giving me problems. It's making me really, really mad.
Dude,
I drive to the studio right now.
Lucy's got a good point. She says it is the snazzy pants. So,
yeah, I'm glad I put pants on because I almost didn't. I mean, like I said, in my underwear, I've done it before. There's many a talk junkies and retro.
Have you really done?
Yeah, retro cults in my underwear.
No, but I'm talking about live video. Have you really done it in your underwear?
Yeah.
No way.
It's
really
uncomfortable. Yeah, I have sat and talked to Elliot Spooky and Bagel in my underwear. I mean, like on a podcast too, not just in person, but like on a podcast too.
Okay. Well, all right, big boy. When we go out, and I would like to go out, several times live.
If you'll take me out
for live locations,
I'll put it out if you take me out.
Good morning, everyone on Anchor. I see we have a really good audience going there. So thank you very much for joining us. We definitely appreciate you. But I have a challenge for you. Well, no, I double dog dare you when we go out and do a live to do a 10-minute segment with your shirt off and one of your hands stuck down your pants for 10 minutes. Why are you taking your... No, please don't right now. We're already having problems. Dude. We're already
won't take his clothes off. I don't care.
Oh, well.
I'm like a very untalented Bert Kreischer.
You didn't hear the rest of it. You did not hear the rest of it.
What was the rest of it? What I got to do?
I said, and you have to keep one hand stuck in your pants for 15 minutes.
Where do you think this hand goes when it's not?
Not now. When we go out in public and we're set up live somewhere. And then when somebody comes up, FCC, step in, please.
We still got to wax my nipples too.
Now, I don't know if the FCC has control over
FCC won't let
Facebook yet or not, but we're on Facebook as well. They could kick us out. But when you take your hand out of your pants, if somebody's there,
now
try to reach and shake their hand. No, but the same one you took out of your pants.
You're watching my rats. I can stinky palm.
No. We don't want you stinky palm nobody. And no. I don't know. No, I take that back. I don't want you to do that because you have to touch the equipment and stuff and help me load up. So
just like I'll put a bag over this hand or something where it's not touching stuff.
But knowing you would take it out while I was working on the show and so forth. And
easily thinks my nipples are sexual assault. Yeah. They're almost covered. If I'd just come down a little further with these, they would have been covered.
Well, I wish I hadn't even said that now. So it's just you want to go ahead and read our last Sassy Unhappy.
Dude, I'll read it topless.
Okay.
I mean, it feels right. I feel liberated. I feel good. Let's see. Sappy Unhappy. This one, look, this one's legit. This may be the saddest moment in cinema history. Young Justin experienced this trauma in person.
You're not going to cry, are you?
No, not.
Where are you, a girl or something?
Possibly. I just missed it by a couple inches. Poison Apple says, the only movie from my childhood that still makes me cry today is the movie My Girl. It starred Macaulay Culkin as Thomas J. and Anna Klumsky. Nobody knew that girl's name until Poison Apple put it in here, as Veda. In the movie, the two are best friends. They hang out together, grow close, and then a twist. Thomas J. gets stung to death by bees, leaving his best friend Veda alone and devastated at his passing. And then she comes in and she goes, can't see without his glasses. Can't see anything without his glasses. And that's when I broke down and just started crying.
Hey, it is what it is. You know why?
Wow.
Do you know why?
Why?
You really don't know?
No.
Life's like a world that you're traveling on. There's one step in, next step gone. Sometimes you lose. I don't even know the lyrics.
I mean, that's good. Nobody should. That's good. But there's a lot of good.
Cool.
You've got a good voice. Between the rapping and this, I see a future for you.
No, dude, I used to, what is it? The way people say, I used to could be able to sing. So I used to be decent. So thank you very much for putting your shirt back on. We definitely appreciate that. I will never dare you to do that again. I want to thank everyone for sending us an email, and Sean and Poison Apple, Dixon 09, and sending us the happy and sappy moments. You can do that anytime you want to. You can call, text, or leave us a voicemail or shoot us an email. You can shoot us all three an email, myself, Justin, or Lucy at here2chewbubblegum@yahoo.com, until we get the website back up with the .com email, and the here2chewbubblegum.com may be a mirror site for here to chew here2chewbubblegum.com media, which should be coming soon. So
before we get off of the subject of My Girl, do you know the tie-in to My Girl and Ghostbusters?
What, the name Veda?
No, the father in My Girl.
Oh, okay.
The father in My Girl is the same gentleman who plays Ray Stanza, Dan Aykroyd. And
yeah, that's right.
It's the death of his daughter's best friend and her inability to cope with it that leads him into researching the supernatural, which leads him to start the Ghostbusters.
Really?
No, none of that's true at all, but it would be cool as hell if it was, wouldn't it?
You know, I have only saw it one time. I do remember it being a sad movie. There's a part 2 to it as well that I think I saw, but I could not.
Yeah.
She goes to a different city or town or something like that.
No, Macaulay Culkin comes back from the dead.
Oh,
and
attacks
he's
her.
a
Zombie, and he leads
them
out of the city to safety. Yeah. I think I remember that. And then don't they find a body as you're walking on railroad tracks, and there's this guy named Lardass eating in a pie eating contest.
Yeah.
And then don't he end with like the Macaulay Culkin zombie character getting like, you know, he's in this karate tournament and he's not really a black belt, but they still a black belt or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he convinces her that, you know, he would have survived if somebody just sucked the poison out. So he gets her to suck the poison out, but it ends up still being a zombie. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Show.
All jokes aside, the movie My Girl. And I do remember, like I said, you know, the hijinks they got into and all that, you know. Do you think if he would have lived that they would have ended up together in that movie?
No, friend zoned. He'd have got friend zoned. He's a good guy. He's quiet. He's a nice person. Definitely would not have treated her wrong. No, he'd have got friend zoned.
Okay. Well, that's, you know, that's a good.
Plus, I think she was touching bodies in the morgue. She was a messed up kid.
Because Dan Aykroyd worked in the morgue, right? Exactly. He was a mortician.
He was, wasn't he? Wow. I think he was.
Yeah, that actually just clicked. I actually just remembered that when you said that.
Dude, so it's some type of repressed memory.
Hey, you know, dude, my memory gets bad sometimes. So
my memory's horrible.
It does. It gets bad sometimes. But you know, hey, that's what happens. So let me come back over here. You want to go ahead and no, there was a phone call you wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
Give me just a second. I clicked over to the YouTube. So let me just pause that. I was just checking it out. So
is anybody still left on YouTube? Did they give up?
Yeah. No, man. They're there. We have some in here. You know, I mean, we are growing every week, and then looks like there's several.
Well, I told you, if you'll just touch it, it'll grow. Like it's not just, you don't have to always like put it in your mouth. Just touch it sometimes. It'll grow.
Now, you had an idea for a phone call. Do you want to go ahead and do that, or do you want to?
I say we do it.
Okay.
I say we do it.
Okay. Give me just a second. Let me grab my trusty old phone here.
You can't get anybody today.
Well, you may be able to. Because isn't it for the thing that you mentioned, isn't there? Don't you have to have counseling or something like that? Let's just call a counselor that does that.
counselor.
Yeah.
I'm worried
You
about
know,
clinic counselor. It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. Let's see here. Here we go. Now this is where we jump the shark. I can't believe you read a song about a preacher and then you're doing that. And
listen, go on Facebook. I don't even think he's active right now. He's probably back in jail. You follow Billy Joe Farnsworth.
He commented earlier this morning. He is active.
Yeah, that is right. You tell me he's a good person who doesn't deserve to be made fun of.
The ones that are closest to us within
we're almost an hour deep.
400-mile radius. That's what she said. Say, man, I feel like I'm starting to say that too much. I need to just back off.
Hey, let's save the call for Monday because we know they'll be open.
Well, that is a good idea. So we need to call somewhere else. So
we're gonna call.
I don't know. Anybody watching right now? Is there anyone or listening on AMP? Let me click over to the chat on AMP. If there's anyone you want us to call,
including yourself.
What? Including
yourselves. If you want, you want us to call you, we'll call you.
Well, yeah. Or you're welcome to call. I can drop the link again as well.
Somebody talks.
If anyone wants to join us, you don't have to show your face if you don't want to when you come on. So we'll just drop the link again. You feel free to click on, join us on AMP.
You'll have to read the number out for AMP, won't you?
What do you mean? I have to read the number out? Well, yeah.
We can't see our chat.
Yeah, because it's area code 606 373 33 96.
That's 606. I don't remember the rest of it. I got a good radio.
373 3396. Do you remember that one guy that used to call into our local radio station all the time? I got a kiwi old cabinet for sale and a duck cookie jar for sale. Do you remember him?
Yes. We're we need to get up early one weekday morning and call Swap Shop.
They don't have it anymore. Sadly, they don't have it
anymore.
Nope.
God.
Nope, they don't have it.
Institution.
But, I actually saw that guy because people have bets. I still remember his phone number. Oh, I just thought of something. You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
Now, his phone number is not far from your area because it was, the first three numbers as the ones in your area of the county.
Mm-hmm. Do you know who he actually is?
No. Do you?
I don't either. No.
But I did see him at a payphone one time, and I knew it was him because he was talking on a payphone, and I heard the voice, and I did a double take, and it was a young guy. He was younger than me. So.
You think he was pranking?
No. Like, give me just a second here. Let me picture this in my head.
You can put it in, and there's enough room. There's two holes.
Okay. All right. Now, so if you remember, I cannot believe we're doing this. Anybody that listens local, they're going to laugh their ass off at this. So we'll set this up for you. We had this radio show that started in the mid 70s that ran through, I think, maybe up to about 8 years ago, called The Marketplace. And if you had an item to buy, sell, trade, or give away, you'd call in, you could send in a postcard to the mailbag and they would read it, So there was this one particular guy that would always call in, and it would be the same thing. And no shit, this is the way he talked. And I'm not making fun of him. I could just do an impersonation of him. I've got a duck cookie jar for sale and a QEO cabinet for sale, and the number to call is 64, and then he would, and I got the number wrote down here. So remember, Justin, you're looking for a duck cookie jar, or a curio cabinet. And if they say, well, how did you know this? Well, I had a friend that had recorded a radio show. You were on the Marketplace 20 years ago. And I was needing both of those things.
Let's just act like Marketplace is still on. Like I just heard it.
No, dude, these people listen religiously.
Yeah, they don't know.
All right, wait, give me. Let's see. I've got to. Let me hook up my Bluetooth really quick. You know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. We're going to do this. I'm going to call, and then your damn internet's going to freeze.
Probably. And, it's about time. I'm really upset. I'm sorry about that to everybody listening to. Like that.
Oh, dude, you're totally fine, man. Don't be worrying about anything.
Take a tour.
You are. What are you doing?
When that little light let's see if you can see it. When that little light right there goes red, which it does about 15 times a show.
That's when you're you're switching camera angles.
Yeah. I learned that from the adult film industry.
I mean, you learned that from what? The hotel industry.
Adult film industry. You've seen it on Community Calendar.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I thought WSGS still did. They still do Swap Shop. Yeah. WSGS does. Yeah.
All right. So it shows we're connected. Let me just check real quick, make sure. So all right. So go back over here. And I will mute my mic I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic. Here we go.
Did I have a name or am I just asking about the stuff?
Tim, you want to buy it? Oh wait, just I actually dialed the wrong number. That's my bad.
He's calling me.
No, I wasn't calling you.
I read about this in the Mountain Eagle.
There you go.
They do good stories in there.
Well, another thing's dropped. Give me 1 second. Man, my Bluetooth dropped. I don't know why it did that. It's never done that before.
I had something drop about 13.
No, I'm being
voice
serious.
Got deeper and everything. I'm being serious. They dropped. And I understand why they call it that. Now they got lower.
Mm-hmm.
They did. Everybody has caller ID now. Yeah, but the phone number comes back to the radio, to the show, too. So
well, I'm gonna have to reconnect with Bluetooth. Man, we're having problems this morning. We must have really pissed Dick off last week.
Scam Fluter Ranch. That's Lee Wynn's comment of the day.
Oh, definitely. Oh yeah, everybody has caller ID, but we're calling from the here to chew bubblegum phone. I don't know why it dropped.
Oh God, Scam! I gotta write that.
It would have worked good if I called the right number the first time.
Oh,
try this again. Here we go. Here.
Let me ready.
All right. Hopefully it's connected Bluetooth. I don't know why it dropped for. Man, that sounds weird ringing like that. They're not going.
Interference at Scan Fluter Ranch.
It's definitely done it. Well, we tried. We tried to get that duck cookie jar and curio cabinet from 20-some years ago. So for that guy, if they call back, we'll just pop them live right on the show. So the phone company you're talking about. Oh, yep, there you go. So, and that could be it. Do you want to take a break, Justin, before we come back and start with our topic?
Yeah.
Which again, this show, I didn't ask you about your bodily functions, but we're going to be taking a deep dive.
I've been peeing in this jug the whole time we've been on.
All I've heard, like,
I pee in my Billy Joe Farnsworth mug.
Call Walmart to ask. There you go. Your Billy Joe Farnsworth jug. So
we need to call the phone company and ask them why their service sucks.
Well, they won't be able to answer because they have the same service. So, but when we come back, we're going to take a deep dive into the conspiracy theories of the Chris Benoit murders. And, I'll go ahead and state right now, and I said this backstage when we were doing our sound test to Justin, I drank the Kool-Aid when this first happened. And I actually, didn't really I never looked into this until this past week. And there is a lot to this case.
Yeah.
And
me and you started out on opposite ends of it. And I think maybe we swap spots.
Well, what we were told back when this happened, there's a lot of that stuff that was not true, or did not happen. The last deep dive on Sunday went kind of stroppy. So,
we're sinking too. We're sinking too.
I got big titties. I got big ass. Over, I was head of the class. But there is, like I said, there is a lot to this. And once I started researching this, man, I got hooked on this. And there's a lot of things that I have debunked. And 90% of the information I've got on this show to talk about in this 2-part show comes from the police files.
Yeah.
So now some of it don't. But
Frank Draven?
Who told you? Who told
Frank Draven? Everybody knows Frank Draven's over Police Squad and Police Files. The Police Files of Police Squad. Is that what it was? I think, yeah.
Okay. But we'll be back in just a few moments. I
gotta pay.
Can go pay.
I got to pay.
And we're back.
So, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Let me pause this music. Let's see. That's wild. I've got the board turned down, so it's coming through the computer. Oh, okay, just hit it. Pause it. There we go. So I couldn't even hear that. So hopefully
I went pee and got locked out of the house.
Did you? Why did you go in the house, man? Oh, because you're in your house.
Yeah, and then I had to let the dog out and I locked myself out.
Gotcha. Oh, so it was you all these times. You're the one that did it. You are the one that did it. Right? You let the dogs out?
Oh, I let the dogs out every time.
I cannot believe that you were slow to not get that.
To be outside.
So I cannot believe you did not get that. You did not get that. Man, we have a huge audience on AMP. Thank everyone. Thank you guys very much. And don't forget the chat buttons there. I'm saying hi right now in chat. So the only thing is
I'm saying hi in spirit.
It doesn't alert you to when somebody chats and so forth. The music that we've been playing on an amp, you can play real music on that. It sounds awful back here in my headphones.
It does as it comes through, and I've thought about that a couple of times. But when I would go listen to it, like I listened to the Johnny Cash, and it was fine. Okay. But it's these road boards. I think for some reason it distorts the music.
Okay, now
I don't know why.
I don't think it's the board, because I've played around with amp. And by that, I mean, I've actually, done stuff on it. Well, see, I'm just going to be quiet. That even sounds worse. That even sounds worse. But even when you're doing it on your phone, I mean, that's when you're doing it on your phone.
You do it, you insert the phone.
Well, the amp app is strictly for your smartphone. And when you broadcast from your phone, it does the exact same thing. So.
Yeah, but see, iTunes Music does the same thing coming through this road board. You play something off iTunes. Now, for some reason, YouTube doesn't do it as bad. But if the way I play it through, like if I'm playing it through for the audience to hear, so you're not playing the amp for our audience to hear through the board. Right. You're just listening to it through the board. Like if it would sound that way when I would do it too. Like it didn't have a great sound. If I was playing it to people, that was a horrible explanation.
Well, that definitely makes sense. And now, my goal today was to show you that, hey,
man, you love me? I believe you.
Yeah, I mean, you already know I love you, man.
I believe you love me. Let me take my clothes off.
So. Because I knew we were doing, like a remote today and so forth. And I was going to show you, I'm going to be like, he's not in the studio, but we are going to have a great show anyway.
Oh, his was on Twitch and now he's on YouTube. We're in the future on YouTube.
Okay. Hey, talk there.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Richie Bubblegum proudly brings to you its podcast, Champions of the World. Can you hear me? Is it working?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. But man, I mean, and don't, I mean, honestly, and I'm being serious. I'm not, I'm not
going to tell people what we do when.
No, seriously. You criticize yourself a lot, and you shouldn't, because you're very talented, and you'll be like, man, I guarantee you that you are already thinking about when we ended today's show, you're going to be like, you're just going to text me and be like, man, I'm sorry. I just burned it down. Yeah, don't be doing that, dude.
I'm a realist. I just surround myself with very talented people like you, and then it makes me look better.
Oh, Heartbreak Kid. When did you put that up there?
When I put my Shawn Michaels hat on.
Oh, okay.
See my Shawn Michaels?
Okay, yeah, I see that.
JoJo got me that. That's mine. I'm his boy toy.
If I knew that we would not get that clip pulled, I would pull up his song and play it.
I'm a sexy boy.
Okay, speaking of that, toy. Speaking of wrestlers and so forth, yeah, taking a break. He's still on the bottom. Thank you very much, Ez. Let me put that up there and go back. Too much shit back here. We will get it down, though. We will get it down. So, not
or we won't still
taking a break, but I'm talking about all the buttons and stuff back here. So we're going to dive into this and talk a few minutes about it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to end the live stream, and we are going to, I'm going to send you a second link, Justin, just to record. And this will be the one for next week. And then the following 2-week show, whatever. Thank you very much, Lucy. She also just messaged. I'm sure she messaged a little bit ago, but just came through taking a break. I don't know why. People get on here and be like, man, these guys they're great, but whoever works their controls is awful. So
no, they'll just go. I know where this is going. This is going down that death route that Talk Junkie went down.
No. Oh, but you want to go ahead and start us out on the event that occurred June 22nd, 2007?
Yes. I was a big wrestling fan, and especially in high school. When I was in high school, you were done out. You're a lot older than me. But when I was in high school, it was right around that NWO time, and wrestling was the biggest thing in the world. And now by the time this happened, I'd kind of backed off from wrestling some because Ric Flair was pretty well done. But I do remember the pay-per-view because it had ECW involved in it, which I was really into. And in that pay-per-view, there was a pay-per-view coming up, and it was supposed to be Benoit versus CM Punk for the ECW title, I believe. And at that time, I was pretty big on CM Punk. I thought he was a cool addition to wrestling. And I was always a big Benoit fan because Benoit had been a horseman. The secondary, not as great horseman, but Benoit, Dean Malenko, those guys, I really liked them because I really did like the technical side of wrestling, and they were excellent technical wrestlers. So Benoit doesn't show up for this pay-per-view. And I want to say, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the guy that they tried to make look like Jim Morrison. Took his place and in the pay-per-view, and we find out late the following day that Chris Benoit's wife, who had been a valet for the Horsemen, among other things in wrestling, who went by the name Woman, and his young, as I was told and informed, especially because I remember I think it was Fox News ran it, I was told that his young mentally handicapped son was also, who he wasn't.
He is not mentally handicapped. He did not have a dwarfism or that.
Let's see,
X. It's an X. It was some kind of rare. Yeah, he did not have that either.
But I was, I come to that, and then as I remember Fox News saying he shot him. I remember Fox News saying that Sherry Martel died the same weekend, and that it was related, and she died like the weekend before, and nobody was shot in the house. And then I remember there was an article, the son, John Morrison was the name. Yeah, I think they called him Johnny Nitro at the time. But that was the guy that replaced Benoit in the match. But the son ran a thing saying that he used the crippler crossface on his son to kill him, but then in the article they actually said he didn't because he was too smart. It was just a ridiculous article. And then, all the roid rage stuff and all that started getting really big, because you would see, like, I remember basically everybody big in wrestling that the WWE didn't like, that was out of kind of touch with the WWE. A lot of news organizations were bringing them in, I think, assuming that they would, spill the beans like this was some conspiracy to hide this roid rage murder.
Mm-hmm. So, and just to briefly recap what I said before we took the break, how you like the new ticker there as Lee Rule was going across the screen? So,
ranch.
I didn't dig a whole lot into this. I just took it for face value. I'm like Justin. I was a huge wrestling fan. The first live event I ever saw, and I still have the ticket stub. It was in 1985 or 86. NWA, Black Bart, Ronnie Garvin, Terry Taylor, and the Barbarian. There was a bunch more. I saw them at a field house not far from where I'm at right now. And from there on out, I was a huge fan of wrestling. I think the Rock and Roll Express were there as well.
Yeah.
And, Chris Benoit, I have an uncle that looks like he's older than Chris Benoit, but he looks similar to Chris Benoit. So I always
now, like all decayed to Chris Benoit now, like all decayed and stuff. Or
no,
does he
no.
Okay.
I'm just talking about back in the prime. I mean, he wasn't, like big muscular like that, but like his appearance, he looked like him. I wish I thought ahead and I'd have pulled a picture to popped up.
Now, from the neck down, minus the tattoos, I felt like earlier I looked a lot like, early Benoit.
Well, you were totally wrong. You were totally wrong. I told you, man, you look like an animal, the Muppet, when you're playing on the drums. But, and my uncle's name, his first name is actually Chris. So I was always aware of Chris Benoit. But I never researched this until we talked about doing this subject. And a lot of the stuff that was reported when it happened was not true. Now, like I said, 90% of my facts are going to come from the Fayette County, Georgia Police Department's case file. Because I have looked at most of the case file, and as a former as a retired law enforcement officer, this is probably the most incomplete, shittiest cutting corners report that I've ever read. Because there is Esley's got a good comment there.
I'm breaking the law.
He definitely does. There's a lot of facts in the report that were not reported on or that debunks what was reported. But, as I was saying, it was, done by cutting corners. What I mean is there's a few documents in there where there's a next door neighbor, and we'll go over all of that. And I'll probably aggravate you and everybody watching the replay, describing, why this should have happened, why this shouldn't have happened. But, when you do a police report in our state, it is, you have to check it and you send it on its way, and it is reviewed by a supervisor. And if something's wrong, they either correct it or they send it back to you to fix. Now, this one, you had a lady's name, and the next door neighbor's name was Holly. Let me see. I don't think I even had her. Something with an A.
I don't know.
Shapira or something like that. But they spell it two different ways. They call her the wrong name. There's some stuff that she said that she swears to, she reported that was not in the report. So early on, that let me think that either this was not reviewed or that it was rushed for time. Now, at my stopping point yesterday with the last thing that I found to be true, well, and I'll explain that. That'll be coming up in part 2, though. But I will explain that later on. I think that this was rushed for time. And there's several instances where you will see as we explain things.
Yes, McMahon may have put a TV time limit on him.
Well, he could have.
You'll have it sometime, and if there's not a winner, or by the end of TV, then it's a draw. Because I seen Muta and Flair go to a TV time limit draw. And maybe he done that with the police department. If you can't have me this report by X amount of time, it's a TV time limit draw.
Very true.
Well, it's possible. We don't know. Yeah. I never break kayfabe. It's possible.
There you go. Keep in mind when we talk about this that normally a final report, a case report, is based on field notes, incident reports, video, photos, all of that. And I'm going to go ahead and say right now that, this happened, like I said, June 22nd, 2007. Crime scene photos of the house have been released to the public.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that, and that did seem odd to me. Like you're more experienced with that, but I've never seen it in a lot of places.
The actual bodies, there's no photos of those in the crime scene photos, which normally they would be. Those have never been released, and the autopsy photos have never been released to the public.
So the pictures with the bodies, is that generally public knowledge? Like, is that generally something public can view?
All right, yeah, you can put that out, but normally what they do is they black out like maybe the face, so you can't tell who it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
If that kind of makes sense to you, that's like a
black.
black box on it, or they blur it. It just depends on what each department's policy is. But I mean, this happened in 2007, so it happened 16 years ago, and there's still those photos have never been released. I find that's a big red flag for me right there, right off the bat. So
well, and I'm big on, like, I wonder if they have them. Like, I can't remember the name. There was a young girl who went missing when she was a teenager, and she had an older brother who was off to college, and for years he thought his parents had killed this girl because the police had lost a file. Right. And the police were treating his parents as the only suspects. Well, they get the file back, and they pretty well can prove now the parents definitely didn't do it. Mm-hmm. But they lost this file, and so this poor dude just lived with this their whole life. So you'll have some situations like that, especially in smaller areas. I wonder if, one, they may have lost it, or if, two, like, does the family have any say? Can the family come in? Because I know her sister, woman's sister, was that's not really something I don't think she would have wanted out.
Well, the family, and I just glanced over this. I think it was 2009, Hustler magazine put out photos, nude photos of Nancy.
Yeah, they're a tasteful organization.
And I think the family sued him in 2010. I think it was settled out of court. Now, that could be totally wrong information. I just glanced over that because that was not, part of the dive that we were doing. But for them, you have to ask yourself, where'd they get those photos from? Now, there's a lot of police corruption in Georgia, a lot.
Yeah. Well, the big boss one was a cop down there forever.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was one of the most crooked cops I've ever seen in my life.
I thought he was a prison guard from Cobb County, Georgia.
He might have been at one point in time, but now he was a cop too at Cobb County, Georgia.
Okay.
He was, but now, now that you mentioned, I think maybe he was a prison guard too.
Okay.
No, he didn't seem like a man of high scruples to me. He seemed like a crooked cop to me, the big boss man.
Well, what was I even saying?
Derail it. I don't know. I was just derailing.
No, dude, you're fine. Oh, the photos. Yeah, they still should have. There should be more than one set of those photos. Okay, I know for a fact that there's more than one set at the medical examiner's office, but none of those have never been released. And I'll give you a preview.
I'll say this
right before we end this into what.
Go ahead.
Part 2 will be. Yeah, go ahead.
If there was an issue that, say, the WWE didn't want something seen in those photos, think about, and this actually it's a relic of the WCW era and not the WWE era, but the WCW era, Turner owned WCW, and everything's kind of based out of Atlanta. Right. So all of these wrestlers moved down there that were bigger name wrestlers, guys like Benoit, who started out in WCW, Hogan, once he went to WCW, DDP, like the population of wrestlers in Georgia and around Atlanta, in different suburbs around Atlanta and stuff, and just in Georgia in general, is extremely high. So once WCW was out of business, the WWE had a lot of people in that area. And there's another guy that I had never heard a thing about until today, who was a representative of WWE and a wrestler at WWE that was more than likely present the day they found the bodies.
You know about Dave Taylor?
Yeah. And I'd never heard that,
Well, yeah. There's a little more to it than that. But yeah, him and his wife and one other person, unknown person. Did you know that there was 3 of them?
No, I don't think I see anything about the third person.
Yeah,
And they had sandwiches, and I know for a fact that
Yeah.
a dead guy's not interested in sandwiches.
Well, you know, there's a lot to that story. Well, I'll just go ahead and say it, and we'll probably discuss what you brought up more in episode in part 2. But really quick, the neighbor Holly, she knew the Benoits. She knew Nancy and Daniel well. She knew Chris. Her and Chris didn't talk a lot. She, and I'll just go ahead and say this, like I said, and we'll talk about it again in part 2. She made statements to the police. She did a lot more. She went above and beyond to help the police when they came to her and needed in the house.
Yeah, that surprised me.
To control the dogs. And this will be something we'll get to here in just a moment. But she made this statement that on Friday, at the edge of dark, she saw 3 people who walked up the driveway and went into the house. She saw them again on Sunday with a tray of not the sandwiches. They could have had stuff to eat with sandwiches when they were there on Friday as well.
Yeah.
But when they saw them on Sunday, she recognized that was the same person she saw on Friday, and it was Dave Taylor.
And that's kind of interesting when we get into like the
text. It's very interesting because some of the police reports specifically say certain things that let you know that they brought food on Friday as well.
You see, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, and
I could think of a rational explanation for it pretty quick. You know, just guessing.
Well,
but I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh, this is you know from the the Dave Taylor stuff is not in the police report.
Okay.
But there's facts in the police report where, you know, the neighbor Holly, she made that statement that I just said to one publication. I can't remember what it was, but there's evidence. She swears up and down she told them that. It's not in the report. They said that they didn't get it, but there's evidence in their case file that indicates what she told them happened. Was true. And I'll get to that. You know, like I said, that will be, and we may talk about that here in just a minute, or it might be part 2. But, you know, they were contacted from a representative. The Fayetteville County, Georgia Sheriff's Department were contacted by a representative from the WWE. And, you know, they told them that Chris Benoit had missed several shows and they wanted a welfare check. They gave him the address. They went out and checked. A deputy did. And they discover that there's dogs, large dogs, German Shepherds. So they call their dispatch. The dispatch calls back the contact at the WWE, and I can't remember who the guy was, but he tells them to get up with the neighbor to the left of them. That, you know, she was close with Nancy and Daniel. So they go get the neighbor, and they explain to her that they're to do a welfare check. The neighbor knows how to get in. She knows the layout of the house. She knows the dogs. So the police, the sheriff's department, now this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They let her go in the house by herself and put the dogs up. While she was in the house, okay, they also asked her to see if the Benoits were home. So after she puts the dogs up, she goes upstairs and she sees Daniel. She runs out screaming, traumatized. Number one, if you're a police officer and your main goal is to make sure people are safe, you are not going to send anybody in a house to do a welfare check until that house is cleared, which means you go in floor by floor. And then when there's nobody there, that's when other people can come in. Now, I understand the dog situation, but there's different ways to do that. You could have called animal control. And animal control, a deputy and the woman could have went and got them.
Well, the dogs were outside, so I didn't understand why they didn't just contain them where they were.
Well, from what I read in photos I looked at, you had to walk through that area to get to the side door that was unlocked, where they could enter the house. If that kind of makes sense to you.
When I started looking at this, the very first thing I done is went back and rewatched The Dark Side of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to read a couple articles because just to be honest with you, it doesn't stick as well with me sometimes if I read it as if I watch it.
Right.
And then I got on YouTube and there's tons and tons of videos about it on YouTube. And the things, and you might be able to clarify some of this, I found just in particular with her and her going is, I've noticed that a lot of times, and I don't know if these are direct quotes, but like with Dark Side of the Ring, I believe it did state it like you did, that the police were present when she went and got the dogs.
Right.
But I have read at least one article and I've seen another video that the way it was worded, the cops called her before they even got there and said, "Hey, can you get the dogs put up?" So you're reading, like, based on the report, the cops were present when she went into the house, because I'd always heard that. And it wasn't a big deal, but I had just noticed in a couple places they kind of made it out like the cops weren't there when she entered the home, that they had asked her to get rid of the dogs ahead of time.
They were there. Let me glance over my note here, because I think I actually put an exact quote of what they told her. No, I didn't put in exactly what they told her, but they did tell her also to see if the BMWs were home, which that's just nuts. You don't do that. That's totally unsafe. What if somebody had done this and was still in the house and they killed this woman, Holly?
Well, that shocked me, because it seemed like it was putting her in danger.
It puts her in a lot of danger, and that's sloppy police work, which there's a lot of that in this case, and I'll explain why, before we wrap stuff up in part 2.
Now, before we, and I don't know when you're wanting to cut it off, but before we go to part 2 and really get into it, what I would like to do is, there was 3 things that were really big to me as far as the investigation of it went, and or topics on it that I was really curious about, things that were going to sway me one way or the other. And I wonder for you, were there anything, like, for me, the phone call with Chavo, and we won't get into what actually happened, but the phone call with Chavo about the intruder that was done in that WWE magazine article, that was a big factor for me.
Right.
It was one of those things that I was kind of curious about it being, legitimate, because it would be a big deal. Then the wiki post that was made, right? Because I heard a lot about the wiki post, but I didn't hear anything about the explanation of the Wikipedia post at the time.
I have an explanation for that.
Well, I looked it up and found it. Yeah, and I listened to the interview of that guy, but see, at the time I didn't. All I know is, okay, this has been posted on Wiki. Then there's this phone call, and then on top of that, you had, everybody knew the past of Kevin Sullivan and Chris Benoit. Now, at that time, I had never listened to any interviews of Kevin Sullivan talking about it. And since then, I have. But to me, it seemed like, and then, like I said, Fox News botched and said he got shot. Fox News botched it and said that Sherry Martell died the same weekend and might have been involved and connected them somehow. And then Fox went crazy with the roid rage thing, and we're saying that he was juicing up Daniel.
Yeah.
That he was giving Daniel steroids because the dwarfism and the Fragile X syndrome.
Okay. You've made some very, very good points there. I'm going to make a note of one thing that you said, just so that we mention it. But I mean, this honestly, and I think when we get done and we present all the facts, you tell me your opinion, and I'll tell you mine again as to what happened and what, if anything should be done going forward. Give me 1 second. Well, I'll make a note of that when we wrap it up here, which should just be in a few moments.
Toxicology was a big, I never delved deep into that toxicology. I believed actually what I was told on the news, and I don't remember what news organization I watched. I just know as far as online, man, Fox and Geraldo Rivera, they did nothing but lie about this one. But just because that was the one that I remember it saying he was just pumped full of steroids. That's what I remember hearing at the time. And that's where the roid rage come in. That little
Guess what?
Weirds people out.
I
know. I went and looked at the toxicology report. That is the one few things from the police department I did look at.
And I'll mention this again to bring everybody. I mean, we'll recap everything when we do part 2. But he had no alcohol in his system. He had no illegal drugs or steroid in his system.
He had testosterone.
Testosterone, and there was one other prescribed sedative that was in his system as well. Did you know that?
Yes, I think that's
that same sedative was also in Nancy's system and Daniel's system.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to make this comment. I'll let you comment and we'll wrap it up. If someone is going to commit suicide, why would they take a sedative?
I don't know.
And I'll go a step further. If someone is going to commit suicide, why would they take a sedative, and why would they wrap a piece of fabric around their neck to keep the actual cable from cutting them if they're going to kill themselves?
I can explain why I think he did those things.
Okay.
I do think that he did.
Okay.
But I think it'd be better if I explained it at the end, because I guess I kind of ended up like I started out when this happened with one idea of what happened. Then I went to another, and now after researching this, I'm at a different place.
Okay. Well, if you want to go ahead and explain it now, because this will set up part 2, and this will be great. And then after you say what you are going to say, I'm going to say something else, and we'll end this on a cliffhanger as we play the outro song.
I just think that his medical condition can explain almost everything that he done, especially if you get into the suicide later and you get into those things. I think that it can explain what he was thinking and what he was doing.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say 2 things that I will repeat in episode 2. He gave Nancy, there was a sedative found in Nancy and Daniel and Mr. Benoit. He allegedly injected the sedative into himself. Okay. 2 things have never been found. They've never found the needle where he did that. And they've never found his cell phone. Never.
Now, the cell phone is the smoking gun, and that I never could find an explanation for. I did kind of find what I think might be an explanation for the injected medications.
Okay. All right. But join us next week right here on YouTube. You can watch the live stream. You can't comment live, but you can comment on it. You can listen on AMP. No, I'm sorry. You will not be able to listen on AMP next week, but you can catch the podcast version for those of you that normally listen on AMP at 4 p.m. Next Sunday, as we are down for the count in part 2 of Here to Chew Bubblegum Down for the Count episode. I guess 134B will be what next week is, right?
Yeah, and the next 2 episodes will be stream only through your podcast provider or YouTube. They're not live. But
I mean, it will be podcast and live video screen. So let's see. I want to thank everyone for watching and listening. Remember, we all have a voice, and together we can change the world. Isn't that right, Rob?
Don't suck and be good to people.
Systems are offline.
You've been listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum 2.0. Be sure to tune in next week.